Good day, everyone. My name is Claudia Giacovelli. I'm a program officer from the Life Cycle Initiative from the United Nations Environment Program based in Paris. And I'm very thrilled to be with you today to be able to share some of the key points that we have discovered through meta-studies on single-use plastic products using a life cycle approach. We have started respond to a request from countries in March 2019. UNEP has gathered information and proposed recommendations on the different single-use plastic products, studying their environmental impact, comparing it to their reusable alternatives and also to their single-use alternatives. At the moment, we have recommendations available on a range of products, from shopping bags, plastic bottles, takeaway packaging containers, caps, tableware. We have studied nappies, and we have recommendation on menstrual products and face masks. And now we are currently studying supermarket food packaging. If we look at the key recommendations that the key high-level findings that we had across all these products, what we find out is that what is really most problematic for the planet is not so much the material products are made of, but the single nature of them. So cleverly designed products should really be durable, and especially for single-use products, the lighter the product per use, the lower their environmental impact. Member states are really therefore encouraged to promote keeping resources at the highest value in the economy for the longest time possible and trying to replace single-use plastic products with reusable alternatives. The important point to note is that there is really no one single solution to plastic product pollution, and therefore what's key is that by taking a life cycle approach, you can at least make informed decisions in the right direction. If we look at a bit more specific what we found for the various products, so if we look at shopping bags, for example, the meta-analysis shows that the shopping bag that has the least impact on the environment is the bag that consumers already have at home. In fact, the point is that it's important to reuse, and even the single-use bags, in fact. And reusable bags need to be durable and used multiple times to reduce their environmental impact. And it's not a given that biodegradable material is really the best material. For bottles, single-use glass bottles are found actually to have the worst environmental performance than their alternative, mostly because of weight. But on the other hand, reusable glass or aluminum bottles, they must only be reused for more than 4 times to have lower environmental impacts than single-use plastic bottles. So that's really a kind of very easy break-even point to reach if you think about how many times you really reuse your reusable bottles. If you look at beverage caps, no type of single-use cup, whether it's plastic, whether it's paper or bioplastic, is better than than the other single-use alternatives in terms of environmental impacts. And however, if recycling is improved, then paper cups would be the best single-use alternatives out there. On the contrary, of course, if we look at reusable cups, the environmental footprint of reusing a polypropylene reusable cup every day for 2 months is lower than using a single-use paper cup every day. So reusable cups in general are a better option overall, both for hot and cold drinks. What we have in our meta-studies are also some tools to try and guide countries, consumers, and regions and cities to try and understand what does the science really tell us? What does life cycle assessment really tell us? If we plot into, for example, such a matrix, on one axis we have the consideration of geographical and technological context, while on the horizontal axis we have the consumer behavior, which is quite important and can greatly differ, basically influence the type of product that science tell us it would be better to use or not. For example, if we look at a context where, if we look from the left-hand side in the first row, we are, for example, talking of a country where there is no formal waste management and there is poor recycling support, but the consumer is eco-conscious. So we are looking at the left-hand side, the first where the consumer is cost-conscious, then reusables are better. But if you are looking at in the same scenario, in the same country scenario, where we have no waste management and poor support for recycling, but the consumer is littering on the floor, for example, then it's better to use, also in that case, reusable is better. If we look at nappies, reusable nappies that are washed efficiently have lower environmental impact than single-use nappies. The thing with nappies is that, like in other single-use products, really, consumers have significantly more control over the impacts of reusable nappies than over the impact of single-use nappies. So the use phase, if you look at the whole life cycle of the nappies, the use phase is really extremely important, especially for reusable nappies. So whether we wash, as consumer, we wash the nappies efficiently, we reuse them many times, we hand them we use them again for the brothers or siblings that would come, or donate them to be continually used after we have finished with them. That all little actions that can further make reusable nappies better for the environment than single-use nappies. This is, for example, the matrix, similar matrix. So we have these matrices for all the products. So let's look at one other different example. So we have now we have moved to a country where there is formal waste management. So it's the second block to the left, but there is poor recycling support. In the case, for example, where there is a conscious consumer that reuses nappies also on the second child or other children, then reusable is definitely, the science tells us that reusable is definitely the better choice. But when the consumer is indifferent and reusable nappies are only used a few times and then thrown away, then the science tells us that in that case, as the single-use nappies are better. But in that case, the reaction should really be, then it means that we need to strengthen consumer education to make sure that reusable nappies are not thrown away after only a few uses, but they are really, their use is really maximized in terms of extension and time duration, and they are washed efficiently with proper detergent, etc., and little detergent. So reusable options are generally preferable over single-use product of any material, and policies should really contribute to making reusable option the better and easier for consumers to adopt. The LCA on plastic products, so life cycle assessment on plastic products, help bring context, but there are, of course, shortcomings to life cycle assessment that need to be compensated when developing policy by other considerations that policymakers should make to make sure that whatever funding are there at the global level, they can be fit for purpose in the context and in the economic and the geographic context of where the policy needs to be adopted. We always need to reduce unnecessary or unsafe plastic and materials, so the chemical impact is quite important, and try to shift from single-use to reusable product. The conundrum between biodegradable and bio-based, whether they are better, the answer that we found so far is that they are not necessarily better. Technologically, we are not yet there to be able to ascertain surely that biodegradable and bio-based are actually better than a normal traditional single-use or reusable. So just to conclude, what we really need is a system change, and this requires a range of policy intervention that follow a life cycle approach. And for that to happen, we really need significant changes from resources, information, and knowledge, really. And it's great to see that countries are now coming together to start working on negotiating an internationally binding agreement to end plastic pollution. We are actually already starting on the 29th of May, so next week, actually, at the end of this week, countries are coming together for an open-ended working group that will prepare and will agree on the terms under which the legally binding agreement to end plastic pollution will be negotiated. So there is an incredible push from countries to join hands to end pollution from plastic and move to a circular economy for plastic. Action is urgently required, and international collaboration will deliver impact. I want to thank you all very, very much. And the important thing that we can do for the planet to address plastic pollution is really to consume less and choose to reuse. Many thanks, everyone. Have a good day forward.